Thank you, Michael, for your time.
Yep.
Before we begin, can I ask, are you still teaching?
Yes, so I've only just gone into teaching this year, started in September. I teach at New College Bradford, just 3 days a week whilst I'm still playing. But yeah, no, really enjoying it. 16 to 19-year-olds, BTEC sport.
How are you finding it working with the youth?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I believe, obviously, I'm starting that transition, and I always plan for my career after rugby. And I feel like in the education sector, you can make a real difference to people's lives, and it gives you a real sense of. It's a real rewarding career, should I say? So now, yeah, I do really enjoy it.
So, was that always the path to go into teaching after rugby?
Teaching or coaching, and I feel like going into the teaching side of things, I can do both. So I've started up a college rugby league team there now, so it kind of allows me to enjoy my rugby, enjoy my sport, and teach at the same time. But yeah, no, I do enjoy it.
You work obviously with the youth, and I had a question because I'm asking if some of the players as well. You look at a lot of the rugby league crowds, a lot of older people, older generations going down. How do we get the kids involved? How do we get the youth involved? Is it about taking them to games? Is it about exposure? What is it about?
100%. Exposing the game, advertising the game, making the game as accessible as possible in the areas where kids are going to play the game and that don't play the game. But yeah, making it accessible. Obviously, clubs putting on promotions. I know last year at Bradford it was free for kids under 16 to come to the games. I think that's a great initiative, and it allows them to spread our great sport and allow kids to be inspired by the sport. I was inspired one day. Everybody within this room watched a rugby league game or played rugby league one day and was inspired. And now pretty much once rugby league gets you, you're in it for life. So that's what we need to do for the next generation of kids to get involved with the game.
Obviously, you're involved with the Bradford Bulls, and
Yep.
I was speaking to a Premier League footballer recently, and
Yep.
just rugby league came up,
Yep.
and they mentioned, how Bradford Bulls getting on. So
Yep.
clearly, that iconic name of Bradford Bulls is still around. This football player, I'm not going to say any names,
Yep.
but they don't follow rugby league in
Yep.
and out, but they knew Bradford Bulls, so it's an iconic name still. Yep. How do you get Bradford back in the top flight and back to where it belongs?
It's a massive club, is Bradford. That was one of the draws for me when I first signed at the club from Huddersfield. The fan base is still there, and the people still remember the glory days pretty much of Bradford. And at the moment, we're doing our job as best we can do on the field to make sure Bradford are back there. Obviously, last year we came just short of winning promotion that way. Now it's changed to IMG. You've got the people, the higher ups, obviously the CEO and the owner of the club, and the new investors that have come into the club. They're doing everything they can to tick IMG's boxes to make sure the club's in a position to tick all those boxes to be in Super League, and we're making sure as players we control what happens on the field in the way we train, the way we play, the way we prepare to make sure we're as successful as possible to give Bradford the best chance and the best bid at earning a place in Super League.
Of course, as you mentioned that as a player, you can only do what's in your power. You can only put on the best product out onto the field.
Yeah.
But are you confident that the people above you who are calling all the shots and making the right decisions? Obviously, IMG's coming in. We still are not quite sure where things are going to stand come 2025, 2026.
Yeah.
But are you confident that we're heading in the right direction?
Yes, definitely. With the things that have happened since I've joined the club, I'm very confident that Bradford are doing everything within their power to get that club back into Super League.
But generally, rugby league-wise speaking, do you think we're heading in the right direction as a sport? Not just Bradford, but rugby league generally.
I think we're in a massive transitional period, to be honest. A massive transitional period, which I hope will be a successful one, which I hope will propel the sport in the right direction. We knew something needed to change and something needed to improve, to grow the sport. The higher ups decided that IMG was the way to go, so now we've got to fully get behind that, back it, and hopefully it will start to springboard rugby league in the correct direction.
I really wanted to ask you about Jamaica Rugby League, if that's okay, because I know you've been involved with Jamaica Rugby League, and there was some news about the World Cup. Obviously, it was cancelled in France, but it's back up and running now.
Yeah.
How confident are you that Jamaica could become, a real force in rugby league one day, perhaps in the future?
Yeah, obviously it was devastating that the World Cup was cancelled. That was one of my aims, to try playing that next World Cup. Obviously, that being pushed back makes it a little bit difficult now for myself. But obviously, I think the competition's been cut to 10 teams, I think, which is which is not great for the smaller nations around the world, and it's not great for really growing the game. Hopefully there's time to reconsider. I know obviously the people wanted to see a more competitive competition, but if you saw what it did for the smaller countries and the passion and what it did for people on the island of places like Jamaica in growing the sport and places like Greece, I think going back to 16-team comp would be the smartest thing to do if you're looking at expanding the game and growing the game. If you're just wanting competitive rugby league with the same teams, you make it smaller, but if you want expansion and growth, you need to have these smaller nations in there because it's massive for those countries and the people of that country in growing rugby league.
Perfect. Just lastly, I know that you're there's a few people that have compared you to Frank Bruno as well. Yes. I'm just wondering, are you a big sports fan? Are you a big boxing fan?
Yeah, I love sports. I love boxing. My cousin is Errol Spence Jr. He was
really?
Yeah. So he was a world championship boxer for a long time. Obviously, just lost the fight to Sean Crawford. So no, yeah, I'm a big boxing fan and a big sporting fan as well.
Fury or Usyk?
Ooh, I'd have to say Fury. Yeah, he's got the skill. Yeah, so I'd say
Joshua or Ngannou?
Joshua.
Spot on. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thank you.
Cheers.